Hi, I'm Susie Lyles, and I'm the owner of Eugene Textile Center. And this is my wonderful daughter, Sarah Rambosic, and she is owner of Loom USA. So we are here today to tell you a little bit about Texsolv because it's one of those products that is great for all weavers to use in different places on their looms, or maybe not on their looms in other ways. So I'm going to turn it over to Sarah to get started.
I'm Sarah. A little nervous here. So this shows some of our Texsolv things. The main product is the Texsolv loop cord. This is the one that is used for most tie-ups. You can see it's pretty small, and then we've got the beam cord, which is a little bit bigger. But to demonstrate, we've got this, which is actually called Runlock, and we'll talk more about it later. So this is the same construction as the regular loop cord. You can see it's a rope with a whole bunch of holes in it. So one of the main things that we do with this, most common, is to make a slip knot. And to do that, we're going to open up a hole and push the cord through. And this makes a slip knot. In a situation where that doesn't work, where you can't slide it over the end, you're going to take the other end of your line and just push it through. And it'll slide. Here on the board, we have some different applications for that. We have all these here. When we're using the cord on things that have holes in them, like lambs or the bottoms of treadles, commonly we'll put the cord through, and then we will use an anchor pin. Here's an anchor pin. It's got two little legs, which are going to go into the hole, and it's got this little button here. That button is going to go over. So it's going to go through your cord, and then it's going to go, you're going to put the cord through your board, and that's going to be there. You want to put those two little legs inside. They're going to hold pressure so that the cord doesn't fall back out. Just on the treadle next to that right here is an arrow peg doing the same job, but it will slide back through if the tension is removed. And here's an arrow peg. That can be used like here to stop this loop from getting any larger. Here, it can hold the loop in place. We have some different sleigh hooks here. And we also have the Texsolv Heddles that go from very small to very large. There is a master list of what size Heddles go to which looms on both Loom USA and Eugene Textile websites, and that is under resources on both websites. One common question we have is, how do you measure your Heddles? The Heddles have the connections at both top and bottom, and to measure, you're going to measure from the inside of one up here to the inside right there. So it's the inside, the two knots measurement. When you're looking at the sizes, the imperial inches is rounded because these are actually measured at Texsolv in millimeters. It's all metric. So the larger number that you're seeing on the sizes is going to be in millimeters. One of our most common is 280. And the second number, 12, is the eye size in millimeters. If you need to measure while it's on your loom, you want to measure from the top of the shaft bar to the bottom of the shaft bar. Now you're going to take that measurement and add the measurement of the end of your shaft, because you have to remember it has to go around that.
So if you have a metal Heddle bar, you don't have to, like on a jack loom,
Then you won't need to add that.
you don't really need to add that. But we do get a lot of questions, Sarah, about adding Texsolv Heddles to jack looms. Do you want to just talk about that a little bit? Or Susie, do you want, maybe that's...
Oh, that might be more of a...
Oh, okay. So if I wanted to change these heads over here, this is an old loom here, and so I don't want these heddles anymore. So I'm going to change them over to Texsolv heddles. So I'm going to put this on the very top up here, and then down here, and it is measuring, I would say 9 3/4. So I would make sure that my Texsolv heddles were 9 3/4.
Or a little bigger.
Or they could be a little bit bigger. They could actually be, on this one, they could be a little bit smaller only because there's springs here. So that's how I would do it if I wanted to change to Texsolv on here. The one thing about Texsolv heddles is they are a lot quieter than the metal heddles.
They're also significantly lighter in weight. So if you have a loom which is counting on the weight of those heddles to pull the shaft down, making it lighter, such as a wolf pup, the shaft looms, sometimes they don't like them as much because they like that weight on the shaft, the heddles pulling it down. Here I have a Runlock or treadle and 3 different ways to tie the Heddle cords. So here is the one that I was showing before, where it's just straight through with an anchor pin in the bottom. And these guys are supposed to be tight. I hear a lot that you can't get them in there, they're too tight. They're supposed to be tight. They're not supposed to be falling out. If they're falling out, they're probably broken. You can also use a slip knot going through one side. This one. This one is actually my favorite. This is what I prefer and what I would do with my own loom. I have the slip knot going around the entire treadle. And then I'm going to use my cord threader. Put this through. And there. To me, this is the most aesthetically pleasing. It does take a little bit more cord, but that's what I prefer.
And I do have a question about getting a slip knot on both ends of the Texsolv cord.
It depends. That is debatable. So you can do one, such as this one. So if I have this here, and then I want, so this is a slip knot going here. Make sure everybody can see. If I want a slip knot on the other end, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push it through, like we were talking about. It's pushing it through, and now I have a second slip knot. There is not a way to hook it up exactly the same as that because there's no free end. So if I need it to be connected the same way at the other end, I'm going to push this through, maybe. I don't have my cord threader in my hand.
It's on the floor.
So if I needed a second slip knot on the other end, I would then take this and push it through. And that's when I'm going to use an arrow peg. This is what the arrow peg is for. I'm going to slide my arrow peg in. And now I have a slip knot basically on both ends. And it's also adjustable with the arrow peg.
You can also have 2 slip knots this way if you need to, where it doesn't go through another hole. Then that's 2 slip knots if you're talking about it this way. So at Eugene Textile Center, we take in lots of used looms and then we sell them. Well, this one came in a nice pile of sticks, but we think it's such a cute little loom that we wanted to make it work. And so we put new Texsolv on all of it. And so what we did was we put some beam cord here where it would have been the apron rod. And again, here's our nice slip knot here so that we can take it off and back on. And then the other thing that we needed to do is the tie-ups. What we did is we're going to take this for a tie-up, go down through the hole, bring it up through here. It's going to go up. And again, that wonderful slip knot that we do. Again, we're going to go through the hole. And then we use this and we're going to go down under. And then I'm going to see where these are nice and level, and I'm going to put the anchor pin in so that this is part of my tie-up.
You use the regular peg cord for the tie-up. When should you use the heavy beam cord?
The heavy beam cord is mainly used on using beams, but you really only have to use it when when you're going to be having a lot of tension on your loom. For normal looms, you could just use the normal Texsolv. But if you're doing rugs and things like that, then it would be best to use the beam cord.
Also on this loom, because it is a counterbalance, we did all of the tie-ups. We did to the pulley to the horses, and then we actually, because it works, we used a small heddle to go from the shaft to the horse.
Okay, and for those people who have jack looms, you know those Leclerc ones that have the icky cords on them? So now we're going to change that, and we're going to put, this is the bottom of the shaft here. And again, my slip knot. And we're going to put it like that. And then we're going to take it down to the treadles. I know this isn't a full loom, but this was the easiest way to do it. So then we're going to take the treadle, and instead of doing any type of a knot, we have all these wonderful holes in here. So we're going to put this into a hole, and then there's your treadle. Okay, so the next refurbishing thing, because we're wanting to show you how you can fix your looms, we have this loom here, which has this cord on, which gets it so that it doesn't have a good angle on it. And so we're wanting to change these out. So what we want to do is cut, get rid of all of the bad stuff. And then we're going to get more cord. Now, how much cord do I need? So what I need is to just measure it. So I'm going to take it down here. I'm going to go up, and remember it has to go around a bar. So right here, about here, is where I want to cut. I'm going to make sure that I cut right where the circle is, the hole. And most important, you need to burn that end. Now, if you use a match, it's going to become black. You don't want to have black ends. You want them to be nice and pretty. So here I am burning. Just need to melt it a little bit so it doesn't come undone later. And then I'm going to put it through this hole. Again, a nice slip knot. Okay, and then I can do that more all the way across. It's really important to measure so that they're exactly the same length. Because if you don't, then it'll be wonky. So again, a slip knot. I like to have slip knots because when I take my warp off my loom, I like to just slide it off. It's called instant gratification. So here we go. This is the back of the loom. And so I like to make mine pretty close to the heddles because I like to weave to the very last that I can on a warp. No wasting that warp. And then I would do that 2 more times for this loom. We've already done the front of the loom.
So how can we buy the Texsolv if we only want a little bit or if we need a whole bunch?
We sell the Texsolv in yards, and so it's $1.50 a yard, which is pretty easy to do. You just order it by the yard. We also have 22 yard spools, 55 yard spools, and look at those nice new colors that we have. And so in case you want pretty colors on your looms or maybe color coordinate something, then that would be a good way to do it. These are pretty new for them to have colors. Next loom. Because we're redoing looms. Now this is a Toyka that we just got in. Actually, it's a really nice Toyka.
I do have a quick question.
Okay.
Can you use the cords on a sectional beam?
Yes, you can.
For the sectional beam little tie cords?
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because what you can do with your Texsolv cord, again, you have that bundle of your 1 or 2 inch pieces on your sectional, and then you tie that into a knot. You take your Texsolv, again, make a slip knot, again, put your knot in here, put it down there, and there you are. You have that knot around your sections of maybe 20 threads or whatever you have. So it's a good way to do it.
It's also easy that way to make sure that you have exactly the same length on every cord.
Okay, so when this loom came, it was pretty darn ugly. Well, it still has actually these heddles on here, which we would like to change to Texsolv, but we will have the new buyer, whoever buys this loom, to put their own on. But it came with these ugly cords here. So what we did was we just switched out and put cords on. And this was just a cord that went like this. And then we put another cord that went down to the lamb. So anyway, we just changed it all out, and it looks so much better than these ugly cords.
So why are Texsolv heddles better than string heddles?
Well, they slide easier, and they don't break as easy. And if you need more, have fun tying string heddles.
They're also all exactly the same length. So you don't have to worry about whoever tied those heddles, whether or not they got them exactly correct. I know that with a jig, you can get them very close, but we're human.
Up at the top, we have anchor pegs, the little feet. Woo, sorry. Down on the lambs, we have the anchor pegs. Then under the treadles, where is it? We just have the loop. There's no pegs. Just like on the example we showed earlier, because up at the top you have the pegs at the top.
This is my preferred tie-up for the treadles on any of the countermarch looms. I used the knot that I prefer down on the treadles, and then I have my cords long enough that they can go to either the top or bottom lamb so that I don't have to change the ties on my treadles. I only change the pegs. So behind the Toyka, you can see all of our beautiful dish towels hanging, and these are hanging on something that's just like Texsolv, but it's bigger. This is Runlock Line Up. So it has giant holes in it. This one's tied pretty tight. This is a great way to display your dish towels at a show or whatever other product. It also actually was originally designed to be a clothesline because you could hang a hanger in each one, didn't have to be level, and your items won't slide down to the center.
Great. It's also great for camping.
Very great for camping. You can hang tools off of it, hang lanterns off of it, tarps, towels after you're done swimming, all of the things.
Do you have any other sizes of this big Texsolv?
I have lots of other sizes. So Line Up comes in a 22-foot section in a cute little box. We have a couple other products that are from Runlock, which is made by Texsolv. So Redlock does come in a bunch of different sizes. This one's great for tying things in the back of trucks and camping, all kinds of things. One of the most amazing things about Texsolv is how strong it is. And this cord that I'm holding, it actually holds 625, I believe it is, pounds. It's very strong. But then we go up to this guy, and this one's even bigger. This holds 1,500 pounds. So they use it for an actual vehicle tow rope in Sweden.
Almost any jack loom, you can swap the tie-ups out. Norwood looms. Yes, Harrisville looms. Gilmore looms. You can totally change the tie-up on a Gilmore.
Whenever Gilmore looms come in, we always change the tie-ups because we don't like the way that they tie it up.
I can't think of a loom, even Maycomber, whatever. Every jack loom, you can swap out the tie-ups. Can you think of a loom you can't swap the tie-ups out? Susie says no.
No. On the Maycomber looms, I just want to say, because they have where you hook that the tie-up over, and you can just take the cord and loop it over the top. You don't have to put it through the hole. Just loop it over the top of the lamb, and then it'll go down. It will be a little tight going through the hole, but you can actually make the slice hole a little bit bigger.
You can use the Texsolv regular cord for your tie-on cords for almost any loom. So that's going to be counterbalance, countermarch, jack looms. If you need to tie your apron rods on or lash your apron rods on, then it's totally going to work for you. This is what we use to melt our ends. Question for you, Susie. If the cloth beam doesn't have holes in it, what do you do? Like here.
Oh.
If there's no hole here.
Oh, on this one right here? Then
There is no hole.
I would put it around
This way.
like this. And then I would take a small, like upholstery tack and tack a tack right in there. And then it will always be there. That's what I would do. Okay, so this is how I like to do these sticks. And it's funny because if we get a used loom in and it has these on it, I know they've learned from me. Let's do it right here. This is a shower curtain hook. So I can hook it right here. Like this. Then my Lee sticks can be like this. Then I use another shower curtain hook after I put the warp on. I don't have a warp here to show you. And I put these in here. Oh, I don't have them the right height. But anyway, there it is. And what I like to do is make sure that the Lee sticks are at the eyes, right where the eyes are.
Before Susanna turns this off, Runlock, if you're interested in it, can be found on Loompra USA's website under Runlock. It's at the bottom of our products list.
Thank you very much. This has been fun, and hopefully you've learned things. And if you have any other questions, you can let us know.